Apparently my webcam is fucking up, so now I have to use my camcorder. Anyway, today technically it's like a book review, but it's not really a book review because my channel is about books, right? And I realize the average person or the normal people who quote unquote trying to live their dreams or being entrepreneurs, when they fail, here's the true matter of I hear it all the time, but I never actually experience it myself, or I never hear someone project their own failures or fear onto others. And the reason why my thinking is the way it is because I'm telling you, I have failed most than most people ever will fail in their whole entire life. And I'm still keep going. Those failures are supposed to be able to make you to pattern recognize the event in your life, not to hold you back. And here's what happened in most people's life when they quote unquote fail or quote unquote have failures, whether it's in the job, whether it's they're trying a venture, an entrepreneurial venture. If this shit didn't work out, since they put so much effort and time into learning, they have this tremendous fear of not trying again. People have that, and as they grow older, they will tell and put those fear onto other people and telling them, don't do it, don't try, and you're living quote unquote bubble world. Meaning the most problem that I have with the average person or normal people, well, I'm normal, but my thinking is wired very differently because of these type of books in my life. Most people have their reality version of life is because they're seeing for what it is. And when you see the world for what it is, your thinking get worse. You realize that you cannot improve, so you won't improve. And so people become powerless to not improving their life. So what ends up happening is their mind, they project these images of how the world really is. And so what I noticed that when it comes to your dreams, when it comes to something that you want to do for yourself, your dream is this unrealistic dream that you have. And you see that there's no way to accomplish it because you see it as impossible because most people say you should be realistic. Now I come to realize I really hate the fucking word realistic. If you live in a realistic world, your world will be fucked because you got no fucking balls. It really pissed me off that you got no fucking balls to say, oh, I'm gonna live my life this way and I'm gonna do what I want with this shit. Instead, you fucking listen to every fucking body else, and you don't grow. Fucking J.K. Rowling have grown balls, man. You guys who are men are pussies. Grow some balls, man. J.K. Rowling got more balls than you ever will be. Or will ever have. And yeah, I should grow some more balls when I project that ranting. Anyway, the reason why is that so we live in quote unquote the 3D world, right? The physical world. And people let this goddamn 3D world from stopping from living their dream because they can't see any other way. They project what they have failed onto their future. So they're getting the same result unless you change your mindset. And I freaking hate that. And the reason why that is because if I didn't quote unquote imagine a different world than what most people are used to living, then I wouldn't be able to interview other people, right? Interview expert, right? And what happened is people have this life that in front of them, you should know that life is there, life is real, but you shouldn't project as life is. I hate it when people become pessimistic. There's no way you should be that pessimistic and to logically say this is the reason why it happened, and you try to minimize your yes, you should minimize your failures, but you should not let your failures stop you from doing something to improve your life. My life is far from perfect. The average freaking people are far from perfect. People have flaws. People don't understand that, right? And so they reinterpret it. They take that failure and they play that story so many times. When happening, they stop and they say, "Oh, that's unrealistic. That's you're living a dream fantasy world." How you know that's not how you know that's not possible? Are you saying that's impossible? Now, for most of you who are, I'm trying to reach the other audience, saying you're saying that it's impossible because you have failed so many times and you let that failure stop you. And so what I'm saying is, J.K. Rowling have failed more than you. I'm telling you, she have more depression. She still create a world where she's living this dream, and while you guys are bashing on other people because you feel so bad, right? And so what end up happening is people don't set goals, people don't have a vision, people go after it and then they stop because they don't believe in it, or they don't have support, they don't have a way to brainwash their brain from the circumstance of everyday life, because life is hard and it will knock you down, and what you say you can't get back up again. I have more failures. I don't have, when I was a kid, I was made fun of, laughed at. I didn't get straight A's. Most Asian kids have tremendous talents because their parents forced them to, hey, you gotta take every class and you gotta be good at physics, you gotta be good at math because, that's Asian, and you gotta get straight A's. Fuck all that fucking bullshit. Grades doesn't mean nothing, right? And so when I was a kid, I thought I was a failure because I didn't get quote unquote A's. But that doesn't tell you how smart, no matter how smart you are, every smart person, everybody, every dumb person, everybody will fail. You fail all the time, right? We are afraid of failing, and so what happens is we tell other people don't fail as much. What the hell type of advice is that? You should fail so you can learn from it. When humans fail, they will have this pattern. You will have this ability to pattern recognize your way in the situation that help you to get where you want to go. And so J.K. Rowling did a commencement speech in Harvard, or they asked her to come in. I'm happy and grateful for J.K. Rowling. She never stopped believing in her dream, and I'm glad that if someone told her and tell her, talk her out of her dream, then we wouldn't have Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. That's like one of the best creation that she ever did, right? And if we listen to those critics, to our friends, our peers, then we wouldn't have created something beautiful. You should not let your friend, I don't care if they're pessimistic, if they say it's unrealistic, fuck all that shit. I get tired of that. They have no imagination. They have no ambition. They settle so below. Most average people, most normal people settle for average. Fuck all that shit. You're here to live a better life for your family, for you, and maybe for the I realize why people like entertainment. When I go out and I walked out, I saw something I realized I didn't see before. I saw a bunch of cars going by, and I was like, oh, that's why people like entertainment. Because I was thinking of Transformer. when like either Optimus Prime or what was it, Bumblebee come out, all the explosion and fighting, and you don't see that everyday life. That's why people go to see movies, because it's entertainment, because you don't see that every day. It's not exciting, right? It's boring. However, the fact that you're let me see. Here we go. J.K. Rowling, very good lives. The fridge between failures and the point of imagination. I think this is she got it from they take it out from her commencement speech. However, the fact that you're graduating from the Harvard suggests you're not very well acquainted with failure. You may be driven by fear of failure quite as much as a desire for success. Indeed, your conception of failure might not be too far removed from the average person's idea of success. So high have you already flown? Ultimately, we all have to decide ourselves that what constitutes failures. But the world is eager to give you a set of criteria if you let it. So I think it's fair to say that by any conventional measure, a mere 7 years after my graduation day, I have failed on an epic scale. An exceptional short-lived marriage, and I imploded, and I was jobless, a lone parent, and as poor as possibly to be in the modern Britain without being homeless. The fear that my parents had for me, that I had for myself, had both come to pass, and by every usual standard, I was the biggest failure I knew. Now, I'm not going to stand here and tell you that failure is fun. That period of my life was a dark one, and I had no idea that there was going to be what the press has since represent a kind of fairy tale resolution. I have no idea then how far the tunnel extended, and for a long time any light at the end, it was hope rather than a reality. So why I talk about benefit of failure? Simply because failure meant a stripping away of essential. I stopped it pretending to myself that I was anything other than what I was, and began to direct all my energy into finishing the only work that mattered to me. Had I succeeded at anything else, I might never found the determination to succeed in the one arena where I believe I truly belong. I was set free because my greatest fear had been realized, and I was still alive, and I still had a daughter whom I adore, and I had an old typewriter and a big idea. So rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. You might never fail on the scale that I did, but some failure in life is inevitable. It is impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so consciously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case you fail by default. Failure gave me an inner security that I never obtained by passing examinations. Failure taught me things about myself that I could have learned no other way. I discovered that I had strong will and more discipline than I had suspected. I also found out that I had friends whose value was truly above the price of rubies. The knowledge that you have emerged wiser and stronger from setback means that you are and ever after since secure in your ability to survive. You will never truly know yourself or the strength of your relationship until both have been tested by adversity. Just knowledge is a true gift for all that is painfully won. It's been worth more than any qualification I ever earned. So that's what my gripe with is. You're so afraid of failure and you let that stop you from doing it one more time. And you have not developed the resistance. Most people don't have developed the resistance or resilient in things. When you fail, you stop. That's what happened to most people. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to imagine better. See? She said, I'm going to read again. We have the power to imagine better. But what ends up happening is when we fail, we end up imagining worse. When it comes to this, do you know why celebrities are celebrities? Because they imagine better. Even though they ran to all these type of obstacles, they imagine better. And for you, you have a dream. I have a dream. I have to reinvent myself. I have to reinvent my version of my reality, because I do not like change, so neither do people. But change is inevitable. People, as you grow older, you change. The way that you act, you change. The way you see things, you change. Because of your circumstances, you change. But that does not mean you let other people you do not let other people influence your thinking to a degree to their thinking. Their thinking is so what ended up happening is because I got mad. I got mad at he didn't understand that why I think the way I think. Because I didn't have a dream. I didn't have ambition. I didn't have connection. I didn't have a lot of what a lot of people have. When they live in the middle class, when they have everything headed to them, and I'm not jealous of them. I'm just saying that our family was poor, not dirt poor, but poor, and most people would not understand that. We were given clothes. Second-hand clothes. We had to buy second-hand clothes. That's why I don't want to buy new clothes. It's a worse investment because, yes, you can wear nice clothes, but for me, I used to buy a lot of clothes, but I don't want that. But this is how I live my life. You live however life you should live. That's your life. But one thing that matters is you should not let someone take a gun and put it in your head. Literally, it's a gun. When people shoot out their mouth of their ideas in their head and how their circumstances is literally a gun. It's a gun to your head because it's a bullet. It's a idea that transferred into your mind. And what end up happening is you become fearful of that idea and you stop. I will not stop because of my suggestion that one of my friend had tell me. He told me that I live in this bubble world. The only reason why I live this world because it's much better than living in the reality that most people live. And the reality is you go in, you go to work, you clock in, you clock out, and no way that's no fun for me. The way that people live, it's like, where did all when you were a kid, where all the imagination did you in your life, in our life, in my life, people have stripped it out of you. Your dreams, your imagination. The imagination is the most powerful one. Nobody can take the imagination away from you. And yet, you let it. We let it. We let people, adults, teachers, parents, boss, whatever, take that imagination away from you. And so you can't think better. It's time to grow some balls, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if you said, but J.K. Rowling is some billionaires and what the fuck? You're making excuse. Most people make an excuse saying, oh, they're celebrities. They got handed to them. Bill Gates got handed. Fuck you mean. Stop being, most people are always saying this about this person, about how rich people this is, but you do not know anything about them. You just reinvent this story about them, and so you project this story. The average person is like that. They're just like, oh, Bill Gates got wealthy family. Who give a shit? Most of the rich people, self-made billionaire or self-made rich people, they did it from scratch, right? The inheritance, they don't know anything. The millionaires, they built skills and leveraged connections, and they have developed these type of skills that most average people don't have. Most average people don't think about their future. They think about what day to day. They don't think about the horizon. They don't think about their time is limited here and they're going to die. And you don't want to be at the end of your life thinking like, oh shit, I should have done that, man. Even if the immediate pain is more painful now than the future. So if it's more painful now, that means you're stopping from yourself from living that life that you wanted. I ain't stopping because someone says something. The reason why I am is because I realize I hate fucking thinking realistic. Realistic, I never thought about that. That's ridiculous. Oh, because it's the world. Oh, it's because it's things. Oh. But it's already existed. You can read a book about it. You don't have to be ignorant. People are proud that they don't read books. People are proud that they're proud to know these other things than knowing something so they can improve their life. Stop being proud of your ignorance. Stop being proud of ignorance. Stop being proud that you say money is evil. Stop being proud that you don't know nothing about money. Stop being proud. Stop being proud of... Oh my... I have so much gripe with this idea. Fuck all that shit. Grow some balls, man. Oh, God. I guess it built up so much out, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna live. Regardless of my failures, regardless of how much I failed in front of you, regardless how much I failed, I'm gonna live my life, because my life, I see the potential of it's being better. I don't see it as what it is. I'd rather be optimistic and live in optimism than rather pessimistic. Pessimistic, they live in accuracy. But I'd rather live in a world that's possible. I'd rather live in a world that's fun, fantasy. I'd rather live in that world. I'd rather use my imagination. So as J.K. Rowling said, imagine better. You should imagine better. What do you want? And you gotta step out and do it. But you're going to fail. You might not like it. I'm sorry. It's scary. And you're gonna have dark days, man. I have dark days. So don't be a bitch about it. Go on. And I'll see you next time. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.